the gate, this is just going to be a calculator. So if that's what you want to take out from this video, the link is going to be in the video description, and it's just going to be basically that, a calculator. I do not want for this video to be too long, I do not want to waste too much of your time, but I do have a little bit of an input that I have for you with this tool. This tool is going to immensely make your life so much easier, but there are some little things, little aspects that you need to have in mind before actually using the calculator. Now, the first thing to have in mind is going to be respect. We're going to be allowed to use respect on our characters in Baldur's Gate, and on Divinity Original Sin 2, the respect was completely free. So it wouldn't require anything for you to be able to respec your class and tweak around your build and whatnot. We do not know how is the respec going to work in Baldur's Gate. I do not know if it's going to cost you money, if it's going to cost you resources. So I always use this kind of calculators in every single game that I play that I want to make a build. I use these things on Souls games, on Dragon Age, Neverwinter games, and that is sometimes games do not allow you to play around with what you want to do. Sometimes some of us are already theory crafting what is it that I am going to get. What am I going to be doing with my character? One of the most important things about this thing is going to be multiclassing. And yes, the game is going to do the calculus for you to be able to have set amount of spell slots, but even while the game is doing the calculus for you, it's very important that you need to have in mind before, when you're planning your character. Let's say that you're going to multi-class a sorcerer and a warlock, you need to have in mind how many spell slots am I going to get, how am I going to get those spell slots, at what levels am I going to get those spell slots. So this is just a tool that you can play around before actually making a decision of going that path. Little bit of a thing to have in mind is also that you should use this calculator just as means of base. Yes, Baldur's Gate 3 is based on the 5th edition of Dungeons & Dragons, but they are still making some little things different. Larian has said that it's going to be different on spellcasters. For the spells, you are going to have access to the higher tier spells sooner than the rest of the spells, so that is a thing. So this that I have for you right here, you should be using this as a base for you to plan ahead on what is it that you want to make with your character and with your build. And as a matter of fact, it's two different calculators. This is the first one, a character planner that is just basically going to give you the features of what is it that you are going to get when you level up. So this is the features one, and then we're going to be taking a look at the spell slots. So for example, if you want to multi-class, and let's say that I want to make, let's use as an example for a Lockadine. A Lockadine that I am going to be taking 2 levels into a Paladin, and the rest of them I'm going to be placing them into Warlock. So I'm going to have all of those levels that I have on my Paladin. I have 2 levels into Paladin. This is the features that I'm going to get on the first levels of my Paladin. This is the features that I'm going to get on my second level of my Paladin, and then I have the features that I'm going to have on my Warlock, my Lockadine. So this is just basically straightforward. This is going to tell you, to some extent, it's going to give you an idea what is it that you are going to get. But once the features have been in there, the thing is that it's not going to give you exactly how many spell slots are you going to get, so you need to have a kind of a decision. You do have to make concessions of things that you are going to be losing, and here's where we're going to be playing around with the spell slot for the multi-classing. The rules for the spell slots that you are going to get on multi-classing, they are somewhat very straightforward. And the rule for multi-classing and doing the calculus for your spell slots is basically you add together all of your levels that you have on your spellcasters, and then have the level that you have on the different thing, like for example on a Paladin, but it should also be already rounded down. So for example, it would be for a 7, it would be a 3, for a 9, it would be a 4, and so on and so forth. Now that is too much to have in mind, so we might as well just better off be using this little tool that we have right here, and it's going to give me an idea of what is it that I'm going to get. So for example, with my Paladin, my Lockadine, let's say that I take the 2 levels into my Paladin, I'm going to get two slots of the first level spell, and then the rest of the points I'm going to be placing them into a warlock, meaning that I am going to get the 2 on the 5th tier, but I'm still going to have 2 on the first. It's also going to tell you which spells are you going to get back on a complete long rest, and how can you recycle them with the spell slots for the warlock, the ones that you get back on a short rest. So these are little notes that you can actually use to your advantage as well. Again, this is something that you are going to be using as a base when you are planning your build. If you want to multi-class and you want to plan your build ahead, this is going to work as a base, because while it is going to be on the 5th edition Baldur's Gate 3, they have taken some liberties. They are making a little bit of a change. Still, this should suffice. This should be more than enough for you. If you're theory crafting your build, if you already have an idea, a brief idea of what is it that you're going to do with your build, this is going to give you an idea of what is it that you are going to get before you actually start making that build. One thing to have in mind is that, for example, if you're focusing solely on the spell slots, this is going to allow you to min-max a little bit better your multi-classing, because if I take, for example, 9 levels in here, I'm still going to have my 2 spell slots of the 5th tier, school tier, and that means that I can place another level into a paladin, which is going to give me 3 of the first. If I go to level 8, that's when I go back to the 4th. And also, if you instead want to make a Sorkadin, maybe you want to place those levels into the Sorcerer, then that means these are the spell slots that you are going to receive by going that path. We are capped at the 5th, so usually the idea is that the higher level classes, like for example the mono classes, they are going to have access to the higher level tier of spells. Like you can see right here, these guys have access to the 6th, which is a huge power spike. But then again, I mean, that Larian did say that the restrictions in this game, in this thing, are going to be tweaked a little bit. So that is something that we do need to have in mind. But then again, if you want to min-max, if you actually do want to min-max, you want to plan ahead of your build, you already have an idea of what is it that you are going to do, then this is just an amazing tool for you to be able to plan ahead on the spell slots that you are going to get for that specific one class. Anyways, if you like content, like it, very super appreciated. No, I told you today you're a gorgeous and beautiful person. You are indeed a gorgeous and beautiful person. I will see you got them gorgeous and beautiful people in the next one. A beautiful day and goodbye.